moment that so many big fans have been waiting for, Guns N' Roses reunion. They did a surprise warm-up gig in Hollywood on Friday. The audio is not great because they banned any sort of video, but it didn't stop people anyway. But here's a little Welcome to the Jungle.
How do we get all the quality?
Oh, I don't know. About 250 people at the show.
He sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, what I could
hear.
Really?
People said they sounded great. And of the 250 people, a bunch of celebrities made their way in. Jim Carrey, Nicolas Cage, Chris Brown, Lenny Kravitz, who went to school with Slash, Michelle Rodriguez, Bradley Cooper, and his mom, Gloria. They did about 17 songs. They announced last week they're doing a stadium tour. So they announced all of the arenas where they'll be playing. They're playing Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and all of a sudden, St. Louis left off the list. They announced that St. Louis would be on the tour, and everybody made a big deal about it because they would be returning to St. Louis for the first time since they had the riots at Riverport. But one of their spokespeople said it just wasn't possible to get a venue. It would have either been Busch Stadium or the Dome, and
those dates weren't available?
It has to do with timing and routing when you're doing all the dates. You know, maybe they were available, but if you're halfway across the country, they're not going to travel back just for St. Louis.
They probably wanted it near Kansas City.
Yeah. So, sorry, you're going to have to go to KC.
Yeah, but the good news is we got a knife show that weekend at the Dome. How many knives can you bring into the Dome, right? She's like, it's the Dome. It's huge. All right.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, still #1 movie in America. And a happy birthday to another superhero, Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is 51 today. Craig T. Nelson, Clive Davis, David E. Kelly, also celebrating birthdays. And this also would have been the birthday of Maya Angelou. St. Louisan.
That's the one. Courtney actually stole material from her.
Listen, Twitter, never mind. I did use her quote when she died.
But there weren't enough characters left to put her name.
To put her name, so it just looked like I had a profound thing to say that day.
Right. Oh, my gosh, I'm going to follow this Courtney Landrum. She always has such words of wisdom.
By the way, it's also Karen Landrum's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Karen Landrum.
Yay.
Can't believe she lived through you.
I know, right? Poor lady.
You gave her so much grief.
Oh, I did.
Maya Angelou's spiritual sister, Oprah, had Tracy Morgan on for Super Soul Sunday. He sat down and she talked about how he's basically been given a second chance at life. And he talked to her about his near-death experience after that horrible car crash.
When you're in a coma for 8 to 10 days, you're basically knocking on the door.
Yeah, you're knocking on
I can remember. I don't know if I was in the coma or in and out of the coma. I just came, but I remember I was talking to my dad. And he had this green thing on. I just remember him saying, "I'm not ready for you, son."
Really?
And I started crying so hard. I was crying hard, probably harder than I cried at his funeral. And I just kept saying, "Dad," because he was my best friend in life.
His dad died in the late 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said it's totally changed his outlook on life. Now he walks up to random strangers and tells them that he loves them because that's how we should treat each other. I wouldn't be surprised if he did something like that before the accident, but...
He was so nice. We had him in studio years
great.
ago, and he was very open, hugged everybody.
You don't remember him?
I don't. I don't know why. It just doesn't.
I think he had an L.A. Dodgers jacket on. Yeah, he had a Dodgers cap on. We have some pictures. I'll show them to you. See, maybe it'll jog your memory about being on this show.
I know. You know I have a comic thing.
By the way, did you wish your mom a happy birthday?
I think. Did I?
After 27 seasons, last night on The Simpsons, Smithers finally came out of the closet.
Oh, Mr. Smithers! Come in, come in, come in! Can I get you a Tom Collins? Hello, Tom Collins.
I see what's going on here. Fix up your boss so he won't be so hard on you. Well, nice try.
Yeah, there wasn't a big scene where he announced it to everyone. It was almost like everyone knew, and then they were trying to set him up on dates. The guy who wrote the episode came up with the idea a couple years ago because his son is gay, and he felt like it was one more way to let his son know how much he loves him.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sweet.
On TV tonight, NCAA championship game. Guy's out of it, so he doesn't care.
Who's going to win it?
North Carolina.
No, who's going to win the pool?
Oh, who's gonna win the
Not
pool?
that anybody listening cares, but I'm curious.
Really, I think it may be Mark Reardon.
From KMOX.
Yeah, or it could be a number of other guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. But what the two play-in games for were horrible. This
Right?
is some of the
Oh,
worst
man.
basketball I've ever seen in my life.
Did Villanova set a record, by the way, with
They
that
did.
score?
They did.
Wow.
Yeah, 44 points on the spread. You know, and Oklahoma. I mean, that's one of those things where 30 years from now, a guy's going to be checking into a hotel. Were you the guy that lost the 44 points? I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
you rather lose last second shot than
Yes.
lose by that
well,
spread?
I don't know.
What
I don't
else
know.
is on television tonight?
Sorry.
Because I won't be watching
Well,
that.
listen, Maroon 5 and Pitbull are playing
No.
the pregame show before North Carolina and Villanova. Dancing with the Stars,
No.
The Voice.
No.
Yeah, go find something on
Okay.
Netflix. Yeah, that's your best bet.
Why don't you
also-
spend time with your mom? It's her birthday.
I am doing that.
Yeah, really?
I'm taking her to dinner to Mungo's, her favorite place.
Very good.
Yes.
You're going to see if you can watch television there?
Did you hear that, Mom? We're going to Mungo's.
More Schmig at 8:40.
The Phillips